to join us. And John, I see that you're in the chat here listening. If Yuriko's with you, could you check to see if she is able to join us? And I will also be posting the link to Menti in chat for the live Q&A session at the end. So you should see that pinned into the space shortly.
Enrica, John reached out. He said that Yuriko is not with him, so we cannot forward this message, unfortunately.
Okay, no worries. I'll give her one more minute, and if not, we'll go ahead and start without her. I'll shortly have the question platform link up as well in case anybody wants to send any questions. Perhaps Victor will be able to take them on for Yuriko, or perhaps John, if you're able to do product updates this week. I understand that Angie is not available. Okay, so I don't see Yuriko with us. So, John, if you're able to give updates, please request a speaking spot in the space. If not, we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, John, thank you for sending me her handle. And Yuriko, if you're here, can you please request a speaking spot? Okay, and we'll go ahead and kick it off. Yuriko, I'll wait to see if you're able to request a speaking spot. But let's go ahead and kick it off. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Horizen Weekly Insider number 161. Today is Monday, November 21st. And thank you all for joining us. Please be aware that this call is being recorded and will also be available for you to check out later on the Horizen podcast as well as YouTube. Please remember to send your questions for the team on Menti. I've pinned the link in the spaces, so be sure to check that out and send us your questions. Let's go ahead and kick off the update. Today, we'll like to welcome Victor for product updates first. Welcome, Victor.
Thank you, Erika. Hi, everyone. I just posted the slide for the update as usual. About our ongoing audit for the EVM sidechain and SDK account in general, everything seems going smoothly. No relevant findings to date. The audit is not over, but we have this good news to share with you. Another point that we want to that we think it's worth mentioning is that we are going ahead with the design of our sidechain to sidechain protocol that was finally submitting to the original father of it, that is Dmytro Kaidalov, the university professor of Ukraine that is working with us. And we remember again that this new design doesn't require any change to the existing circuit. This means that a sidechain that doesn't have it yet can be updated with support, let's say, with can be updated later once the development is over and have this capability as well, without having the need of re-registering the sidechain from scratch. We have another update coming from the DApp testing that we are doing in our private testnet. We recently highlighted that there were some gaps in our, let's say, EVM implementation. One was, let's call it a fake news, because we were convinced that there was a regression in the latest deployment that we've done. Instead, it was just a wrong nonce. So it means that by resetting the account, and it's something that is common also for MetaMask users, just by resetting the account, so by restarting from zero, the nonce for your transaction activity solves the issue. So the issue was not really there, and the deployment of the contract that was previously giving the error went smoothly after that. We have successfully tested that now we support batch requests that was missing from our previous implementation of JSON RPC 2.0. And it's not yet testable even for our internal developers, but it will be by next week. We have also increased the number of, let's say, the coverage of the overall methods available for Ethereum. Some are not really relevant for our implementation, given that, for example, for the uncle management, that is a concept that is applicable for Ethereum, not for us, we decided not to provide support, given that there is no possibility of having uncles also on our sidechain. And last but not least, we have a good update around 060 that is going, let's say, with just a bit of delay, and is the release of the SDK that will bring support for key rotation feature, that is the ability to change the certifiers for a given sidechain, the non-seizable sidechain support, that is the ability for sidechain not to be seized, not to be declared as dead from the main chain perspective, and with the secure enclave, that is the key management, the novel key management that we wanted to introduce for our increased security for DVM. And that's all from me. And back to you, Erika.
Thank you. And Yuriko, I still haven't seen a speaker spot request from you yet. So I'll go ahead and move on to Roberto. If you're able to request that speaking spot, that would be fantastic. Thank you. Welcome, Roberto.
Hello. Thank you, Erika. And hi, everybody. Oh, as usual, okay, start with Zendu. And again, the main update for this week is the audit process. Okay, the audit is ongoing. Our partner is auditing the code changes needed to support key rotation, and they are also deep diving into the interaction with the non-CC chains. This activity is in progress. We have received few comments from our partner, and now we are addressing all these comments. As part of this process, we have implemented tests that reproduce the scenario identified during the audit to have a better understanding of all the implication on the code. For Zendu, we have also worked on code enhancement. So we have introduced a serialization support for polymorphic types. Then, for what regards Blaze, most of these have been anticipated by Victor, of course, and we are working on the merge on the key rotation and on season sidechain. Okay, they will be merged into the 060 release. Okay, and the design of a sidechain to sidechain protocol is being finalized. Again, okay, Victor provided all the details regarding this. Sparse improvement is still work in progress, and the team is focusing on the release candidate 10 contents. Then, for what regards EVM, the analysis of changes needed to adapt key rotation feature from UTXO into an account model is in progress. We are also preparing content for EVM milestone 2 v3 release, and we introduced the JSON RPC call, batch request. And about the total review about the SDK account and EVM code modification, the team called it mega review. Okay, full review of all the code base. More than half of the improvements have been already addressed, and so we are planning to introduce the other, so the next half, less than half, in the next development iteration. And then proving system progresses. Key rotation, okay, we provided the final circuit. Okay, code was completed. We were working on some really corner case. Now they've all been addressed. Test has been completed, and we are waiting for the test to be completed on the SDK VM side to create a release. Prompted activities. We have finished the document with the implementation details of endless recursion, and we're working on the code. So design is completed, code is in progress. And other Prompt2 activities, okay, they divide into, there are coding activities in progress and research activities. The coding activities, we working on the verification gadget for Prompt2 based proof, and we're implementing a SHA-256 for Prompt2 that is also in progress. The crypto team is also working on the research activities, and they basically focusing on the analysis of all the papers that have been recently published, and they are all now in review. So this paper basically focus on optimization and of specific aspects of Prompt2, lookup argument and other optimization. And also the team itself is working on some optimization that will probably be part of paper to be published in the next future. So that were the main update for this weekly insider. Back to you.
Thank you, Roberto. I still haven't seen a request from Yuriko, so we'll go ahead and move on. We'll be sure to add the product updates from Yuriko to the blog version of the Weekly Insider so that you guys don't miss out. And the marketing updates are pretty short this week. We do want to remind everybody that we are celebrating Token Mint NFTs on mainnet with a competition. So you would just create your NFT on Token Mint testnet and then post that into our Discord server, and the voting is live now. This competition ends tomorrow, so be sure to create them today and send them in our Discord soon. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to Rob with the leadership updates and Q&A session. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you, Erica. I will do my best to provide some leadership. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today was this topic, or is the topic of FTX and this crypto collapse that's going on in the markets, because this seems to be the hot topic. And any kind of public relations requests we get these days seems to be asking me about FTX and what our opinions are and what is the industry doing about it. How will companies like ours survive? How will public blockchain ecosystems survive? And again, what are we doing about it? So what I will say is just a quick summary, guys, of what happened. I mean, this is not a news source at all, but just to frame the events for you guys so you understand what I'm talking about if you haven't been tracking closely. FTX, the third largest exchange in our industry, that was really just kind of like run by the wonderkind, SBF, who just rose in prominence over the last year or two, really screwed up. They screwed up badly, and I would say what we saw was, and more news is coming out every day, but just a great example of terrible internal controls. And this is what I think, not always, and definitely not trying to be ageist here, but when you have such a large business empire being run by such a handful of people who are in their mid-20s, who just lack experience at larger, at least a lot of time at larger institutions where they get experience on just how to be professional and how to do business the right way, they didn't. And unfortunately, these controls did not exist. Really, the faux pas, like that third rail of our industry that just seems to keep on popping up, is depositor funds. Like when you go and you deposit your money into FTX as a user of their exchange, you were told explicitly that that money was not going to be lent out in any kind of financial engineering or lending operation at all. That money is yours. That money should be assigned to you, designated to you, and never taken out of an account that is really in your name, or say maybe the aggregate of all the depositors. That wasn't the case. Unfortunately, the leaders of FTX decided to lend depositor funds to a related hedge fund named Alameda Capital. Alameda Capital was SBF's fund that he founded, launched, and still had 90% ownership of. So huge, huge, huge conflict of interest and complete lapse of any kind of proper governance for the institution. And we all like to make fun of TradFi or traditional finance or regulators and SEC and things like that in this industry. Well, here's an example where something that should not have happened, and this is the point of regulation. This is the point of having adults run large amounts of money. So these controls didn't exist, and depositor funds were lent en masse to Alameda Capital. They made a bunch of other risky bets with that money, and collateral was denominated in FTT token. And then SBF decided to go and get into a pissing match with CZ over at Binance, who held a ton of FTT token. But CZ decided to just dump it. And, I believe if you listen to the news and the stories, Alameda made at least a public statement that they would buy FTT token at a fixed price directly from Binance OTC. That didn't happen. They didn't actually follow through on that, probably because they were broke. And Binance decided to just liquidate on the market, and this crashed FTT price. So the value of the collateral, it was denominated in this complex set of interactions between organizations, collapsed and just led to a run on FTX. So classic run, had nothing to do with crypto, guys. So this is your FTX lesson of the day. And again, I repeat, it had nothing to do with crypto. This is not a failure of crypto. This is a failure of actors in our industry to not, just do the right thing. And actors in our industry who were extremely irresponsible, maybe immature, didn't know what they're doing, I have no idea, or chose to do things that they knew they shouldn't have been doing and ended up really paying the price, or depositors. And then depositors paying the price, and then everyone else in this industry is having to suffer this nonsense over and over, is paying the price, watching the market collapse. Now, I keep getting asked, how does this impact the industry? How does this impact us at Horizen or Horizen Labs? And I will say that it's for sure a loss of confidence in the entire industry, and that sucks. I'm tired of it. Like, it's really annoying that we have bad actors constantly doing the wrong things and giving this entire industry a bad reputation. So anyway, besides me complaining about it, what it's going to mean is probably some time where we will have to rebuild our reputation as an industry before other people who just read the headlines, or maybe who got burned on one DeFi deal gone bad, or another NFT project with a rug pull, or maybe now losing all of their deposits at FTX. Maybe these people, it's going to take them time if they ever do come back into our industry. Now, again, I'm super bullish on what we're doing long term. I keep saying this every chance I get. Web3 is here to stay. This is a thing. It's a phenomenon. It's a generational shift that's happening, and I don't see that changing. But some of the different elements that go into what we were considering Web3 a year ago, like the wild west of DeFi, like these very important PFP, NFT projects that were commanding massive premiums, these things are probably going to change. It's going to take some time for users to come back in and to actually have confidence in what we're doing here. Okay, but some important things. This does represent a massive opportunity for projects that survive the liquidations that are happening, and Horizen will survive. That much I can guarantee you. I shouldn't say that. That's a bad thing to say, actually, when I'm talking about institutional controls and things like that. But what I can say is we are prepared for massive drawdowns. We've experienced a massive drawdown already as an ecosystem, and we have financially well-off or solvent participants in our ecosystem who are committed to continuing to participate, like Horizen Labs as an example. That's not going to change. And I see a lot of opportunity here for trying to be the adults in the room and creating or crafting or steering our direction, our strategy to providing, a secure on-ramp into Web3. Products, and I keep getting this on our Discord channels, products like ZK Audit just make even more sense today. And I wish that we really push that thing to completion, because that's just a great example of providing extra, integrity or assurance for people in this industry that the institution that you're trusting actually does have custody of the funds that they claim they do, and they haven't lent them out. Anyway, so all this to say is, from my perspective, we as an industry have to just suffer what we must suffer, and what we must suffer are potentially more liquidations in the market and potentially more negative price action going down. That said, I will not pretend that I know the future here, and I will not pretend that I know what direction market prices are going to go. None of us do. What I can say is I'm bullish on Web3 long term. I'm really bullish on what we're doing in terms of building important technology that's going to make this industry prosper. I have no idea which direction markets are going to go. I clearly have no idea which direction, the price of Zen is going to go. And frankly, in the short term, I don't really care that much. And that sounds a little callous, but what I really care about is what we're building here, building community, building technology to actually proliferate this Web3 thing that I believe is really a generational shift. It's going to happen. So anyway, all that said, it's going to be a painful time. We're all here with each other, and my recommendation is to the extent that we can, and not to be callous, but we need to circle our wagons, as that old saying goes, and take care of each other and make sure that we just put our heads down, focus on what we can control, and keep on building. So that's my message for everyone who's really worried about the financial conditions ongoing right now. I can't say that I'm not worried. I mean, the market is what the market is, and I can't change that, but we can definitely change at least what we can control, and that's focusing on building out the EVM product that we're going to deliver, focusing on building out the Horizen ecosystem, focus on building out the important technologies that we know are going to ultimately get this industry to scale productively. So on that note, and to close out, I spent a fantastic last week here in Puerto Rico with a chunk of our leadership team, talking about a variety of different things, like our roadmap for 2023, how we're doing and what we're doing, crafting OKRs for Horizen Labs as an example. And I can tell you, one of the top OKRs, one of the top goals for Horizen Labs is linked exactly to making Horizen successful. We have some really cool plans in the works right now. I'm not going to spill those beans, guys, sorry, on what we're thinking for the next generation of technology that we deliver into this ecosystem. But like I say, we've never had more resources in terms of talent and the ability to deliver things that we do right now, and we're going to take maximum advantage of that. So anyway, good things to come. These are scary times, but we're definitely here for you guys, and we're here for each other. So let's do what we can to take care of each other and get through this. I'll stop there, guys. Motivation's over. We have 5 extra minutes for Q&A. And what do you got, Erica?
Hilariously enough, you actually answered the top 2 questions already. So good there. So the third top question is, what are your plans for on-chain privacy? Where does privacy-focused sidechain development currently land? It seems like there's some FUD from Europe regulators about privacy coins.
Oh, Chorlolino, is this you asking that question? I know we were chatting over the weekend on Discord about it. Okay, I have an opinion, but really what is most important is the community's opinion. And yes, I'm a community member, and my life is devoted to Horizen, so my opinion should matter for something. But I think what we need to do is we need to focus on process here, because any macro changes on our ecosystem really need to be cleared by the community. So I'll go a step further and say I'm a huge proponent of a DAO. You guys know that, and this is something that we've been talking about from day one on Horizen. I think the tech is finally there. I mean, not to say that we have our EVM launched and DAO tools available for our community yet, a big yet on that one. Though we do have tools like maybe, I don't know, Snapshot and other ways to be able to tally votes, denominated in Zen, or however we want to go forward with something. I just think in general, we need to really focus on our governance. I want to see a DAO ASAP, and I want decisions like this to go to the DAO. Not to punt it, because I do have opinions. And the opinion that I typed on Discord is that, like, this team is not a group of martyrs in the sense that we're going to go and defy orders that we might get as U.S. citizens and a U.S. company like Horizen Labs and deliver things that are illegal. That's not going to happen, right? So anyone that thinks that Horizen Labs is going to deliver illegal technology because we support privacy, not going to happen. That said, there's a wide open space for delivering a whole bunch of privacy-related tools that I think are really important to proliferate in this industry. And those are the things that Horizen Labs, the company, will focus on. Horizen, the community, really needs to get its act together on the governance side. We need to get a DAO in place and get a voting system so that we can have this conversation, not just a conversation on people that happen to be vocal on Discord, which, I love that. We need more people vocal on Discord. Chololino, we love you. We love the comments and everything, but we have to make sure there's not just a handful of people driving all decisions in this community. And the decision to, go all in on privacy, or to maybe, punt privacy to a side chain, that's a big decision. And that's something that I think we need to have a credible mechanism in place to be able to tally, the, breadth of community sentiment. So hopefully that's a really good way of answering the question without answering the question, and doing what politicians do. But that's what I got for now.
You did an incredible job of not answering the question with an answer.
Yes, thank you. I talked a lot too. There were a lot of words and I was emphatic about them.
We're all very proud of you, Rob. So we do have just a couple more minutes, and I wanted to ask you a question that's not technically on here, since you kind of brought it up, and I know the community is going to want to know. Do you know when we'll see the 2023 roadmap?
No. So sorry. I don't know, but we're working on it right now, and there's a strategy document with a roadmap already started. I don't want to get ahead of it and promise a date, and all of a sudden the team gets pissed at me for it, but we are working on it actively, and we'll get that out to you guys. I would like to get that out before end of year, so basically we have two targets. One is end of year, or we have, first thing next year. We kick off the new year with a new roadmap. But I will say it's more than just what you guys know right now. Just get a little FOMO going. It's more than just delivering that UVM and the big ecosystem push around it that we're planning and doing a ton of work for. We're actually reimagining a lot of different things, and nothing is sacrosanct in our ecosystem. Like, everything is up for discussion, debate, and figuring out if we can do things better. And I'll just leave this on a note of the last 5 years since Horizen launched using the Bitcoin code base, a lot of things have changed. So we have the benefit of hindsight and a ton of resources right now to really reimagine everything and take a snapshot of where the industry is and overlay that with our now new insights into where we think the industry is going, and put together something really cool. So that's what we're doing right now. And this roadmap that you're going to see is not just an extension of things that you're already aware of. It's actually going to be probably reimagining a lot of different things and thinking about first principles on how to make Horizen a really cool ecosystem.
Fantastic answer again, Rob. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for today's Weekly Insider. We will go ahead and share all these updates again on our blog, as well as YouTube and our podcast. So thank you all for joining us, and I hope you all have a great week.
Thank you, Erica. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.